Hi, today I'm going to talk about the Trecena of Anil. Now the Trecena of Anil is a Trecena of ripening, it's a Trecena of yellowing, it's a time of bringing things to their fruition, bringing things to the point where we can harvest them, where we can collect them, where we can collect our abundance from that which we've been growing, from that which we've been developing through time. Now, when we look at the calendar, we can look at it in many ways. The calendar is a circle or a spiral, and as such it has no beginning and it has no end. It just continues. But we can see different days as being potential first day or last day of the calendar, first day or last day of the cycle. So, there are many people here in Guatemala that will use 1 bats as the first day of the calendar. There are many people here in Guatemala that will use the day 8 bats as the beginning of the calendar, as the beginning of the ceremonial year, the ceremonial calendar. We can also use the day 1 Imosh as the beginning of the calendar. And certainly if we're looking at it as a pattern of evolution, if we're looking at the calendar as a description of the cycle of evolution, as a description of the cycle from egg to ascension, from the moment before the Big Bang to the point where we reunite with Great Spirit. All of these things would suggest that the first day is 1 Imosh and the last day is 13 Achpu. 13 Achpu is also the final day of the Anil Trecena. And so what we're looking at with the Anil Trecena is the final ripening process before we go into the next cycle, before we go kind of like up the step on the ladder, up the step on the spiral, as it were. So Anil is all about bringing this yellowing to your crop. There you are, you've been hoeing your milpa, you've been watering your corn for 260 days or something along that sort of line. You've been watering your processes, you've been tending your projects, your plans, your ideas. And now they're coming to fruition. We have a point in time where we can add a little bit extra energy in order to bring things to fruition. So, the Trecena of Anil can be seen as quite a joyful Trecena. It's about bringing things to their conclusion. It's about bringing out that abundance from that which we've been developing throughout the year. So, of course, when we develop that abundance, when we go into that, and we're looking at our field and finally our corn is yellow and we can go harvest it and we can eat this wonderful yellow corn. Or, as the case may be, we can take the corn to the market and sell it for some gold. That's another way of looking at it. Anyhow, however it works, I mean, there are very few of us that are actually growing corn anymore. And we're looking at our projects, our plans, those things that we have planted in the world around us, those dreams that we have planted in the world around us, that we're now ripening, we're now bringing out to their full fruition, to the 13 Achpu point. Okay, so as we go through the Trecena, we start on the day 1 Anil, and this is this day of beginning of the ripening process. We have the number 1, which is the new thing, the new ripening, the new seeding, as it might be as well. So there's something in there with the novelty, a part of it, but the 1 we often see as needing a little bit of encouragement, needing a little bit of extra little fertilizer, water, soil to make that seed grow. So with 1 Anil, this is about saying, right, okay, you have the potential to bring something to its ripeness today, but you need to add a little bit of fertilizer in whatever form that might take, a little bit of energy in order to bring it to its full ripeness. From there, we then go to Toch. So Toch we could see as potentially being that fertilizer. Toch is all about payment. I always think it's interesting how Toch comes after Anil, because Anil, often we're receiving the abundance, then Toch, we're giving a little bit back. We're making our offering. We're making our fire to give thanks for what we've received, to give thanks for this ripeness, this abundance that comes to us. The number 2 can relate to, well, relationships. It can relate to lovers, and it can relate to self-sacrifice. And so we see both Toch and the number 2 having an element of sacrifice of our own energy about them. This is where we need to take some of what we can give and use it to bring things to their fruition, because that's what this whole Trecena is about. It's about bringing things through to their fruition, through to their maturity. And so on to Toch, we're looking at what can I give? What can I sacrifice? What part of myself can I give in order to give thanks for what I've received, in order to pay for what I've received? How can I give back? Whether it's giving back within my relationship, whether it's giving back to my partner, whether it's giving back in general to the world around me. What part of myself am I willing to sacrifice in order to bring things to their fruition, in order to make that fertilizer happen, to give that ripening process a boost? From there we move into 3T. Now 3 is a number where we're looking very much inside. We're looking at the internal process that's going on. And here we have it connected with T, which is all about faith and loyalty. So here we might expect a day, well, if we said you might need to look inside yourself for faith or look inside yourself for guidance, this might suggest that the things in the outside world might be a little bit challenging, because you've got to go and dig deep within you to find out where your guidance is going to take you. Might also suggest that kind of like anything that you're looking for externally is not really going to help you a lot. It's really a time to go inwards, look to see where you're guided, and then use that to express outwards. Because the following day, 4 bats, is a day when we can really bring things together. We have the creative genius of bats combined with the number 4, which represents the physical material plane. So this is really about taking your art, taking your creative expression and manifesting it into the physical plane, into the physical world. So 4 bats can be an absolutely wonderful day for the creative expression, can be an absolutely wonderful day for any of the creative arts. This then moves into the day 5 being the road, the journey, the discovery. It's about finding out new things. It's about taking a journey. That might be a physical journey. And a 5 day, well, the 5 suggests work. It's about putting in some effort. So it's putting in some effort into going out and finding out what's going on in the world. It's putting in some effort into making your path happen. Because sometimes we can watch our path unfold in front of us, and sometimes we're going to have to kind of like climb over the fence a bit. We're going to have to kind of like climb over some obstacles maybe in order to get there. So the 5 is about doing that, putting some energy into your path, putting some energy into the direction you want to go in. That's then followed by 6 So 6 can be seen as a very interesting combination. The 6 can represent the material plane, but then combined with the heart of the sky and the heart of the earth, bringing those energies, the divine masculine and divine feminine, into the material plane. And Ach can represent the harmony within our community and the harmony within our home. So this is talking about the ability to draw on above and below, on heaven and earth, and bring them in, to bring harmony into our community, to bring harmony into our home. So 6 is a really, really nice day to bring stability to our families. We have the 6 can represent the family values, and Ach is all about harmony. So this is a very, very good day. It's a very, very strong family day. And it's really about the spiritual elements of family that help to bring stability into the physical realm. After that, we go into 7 Ish. So we have Ish, the guardian of the altars and the well of Mother Earth herself. We have the number 7, representing the pinnacle, the ending, the final step, the top of the pyramid, the balance point. So the sevens give us the opportunity to see many different points of view. When you're standing on the pyramid, on the top of the pyramid, you can see all the different roads out ahead of you. It's all about making some choices. And here we have it in connection with our connection to Mother Earth, our connection to her divinity, our connection to the sacred sites and to the sacred altars. This might be a day about making choices. How are you going to use your connection to Mother Earth? What are you going to do with it? What are you choosing to manifest into this world, and how are you going about it? How are you protecting Mother Earth? What can we do to protect our environment? What can we do to protect the thing from which all life comes, from which all material comes? The one area, the one place, that thing that we live on. How can we protect her? So it may be a day of making choices. Those choices might be to help us to live more harmoniously with Mother Earth, because it's from Mother Earth that the corn comes. And this corn that we're enjoying the ripening of through the Anil Trecena, well, the corn wouldn't exist if Mother Earth didn't exist. So we've got to look after Mother Earth a bit better. So this is a day of choices, a day of making choices to how you want to do that. The ceremonial day of this Trecena is 8 Tzekin. Tzekin is the visionary. Tzekin also helps to bring abundance into this world. It helps to bring prosperity into this world. Now, I just talked about how we can protect Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is, of course, the source of our abundance. All of our material abundance comes from her. Tzekin gives us the vision of how to see forward, and it's when we understand how to see forward, how to see kind of like the road ahead, this is what brings us prosperity. Now, when I talk about prosperity, I mean so that our community, our family, and our environment all thrive together harmoniously. If we make our soil thrive, our crops thrive. If our crops thrive, our family thrives. It all works in together. We can't just ignore one of them. So maybe on Washkib Tzekin, on 8 Tzekin, we can make ceremonies to give thanks for the abundance that we've received, to give thanks for the prosperity of our families and of our communities, and to give thanks for the vision which helps us all to thrive together. The following day will be 9 Achmach. So, Achmach is about being human. Achmach is about making the occasional mistake, forgiving ourselves and our friends for the mistakes that we've made in lives, because we're just human, and embracing that. Embracing being a human, embracing all that we are, the sweetness of the hearts that we hold. So, 9 Achmach, the number 9 is about life. It's about the divine feminine. It's the compassion that comes along with that. So it's using this spirit, this compassionate feminine energy, in an essence of forgiveness. But it's also embracing the life that comes when you truly open your heart and you allow that sweetness to come in. This is what life's all about. As we move through that, we then move into 10 Noch. So, Noch is the problem solver, Noch is the brain, Noch is the thought, the idea. It's the ideas that come to help us to solve the problems within our community. And here we have it combined with the number 10, the two hands coming together in community and cooperation. So once again, we see the idea about getting together. And when we get together, we have the ability to bring our minds together, to bring our ideas together, to bring it all together to help the community to move forward. And again, this takes us into this, how are we maturing as we go through this cycle? How are we maturing as we go through the calendar? Well, when we learn to work together, when we learn to put our ideas together, when we learn to put our heads together, as it were, and we come up with a better solution than maybe we came up with on our own. So this is a great day to have community meetings, to discuss together how to solve problems within our world, within our community, in order to bring that ripening, in order to make our world a more fruitful, harmonious and thriving place. After 10 Noch, we move into 11 Tihash. Now 11 Tihash may being a very strong day, because we have the Tihash energy, the energy of the healer, the energy of the obsidian blade, the energy that can cut, the energy that can edit, the energy of discernment, and we have it connected with the number 11. And the number 11 is a high and odd number. The number 11 can move quite erratically at times, very strongly in whichever direction that it's shown. And so when we have that with the blade, this can be a day when we really might need to kind of like watch what we're doing. It has a great deal of healing that can come from it, but at the same time, when we're using that blade, if we're just swinging the blade without some form of control, then we may inadvertently cut off something we needed in the future, or cause some wounding to happen or something like that. So on 11 Tihash, we kind of like need to keep an eye on what we're doing with the blade. Keep an eye on what we're choosing to cut, because there's a lot of force going in behind that action. We then move into 12 Kawok. So if there was ever a day to heal the actions that we might have had on the 11 Tihash, this is it. We have Kawok, which is the feminine healer, which is a slightly more passive form of healing. If we think of Tihash as being the surgeon that actively physically cuts, then we have Kawok, which is more like the energetic healing. This is the soothing application of the balm, which is going to soothe the wounds. After Tihash has removed that which is not needed, then Kawok comes along and makes the true healing happen. Now we have that in the combination with the number 12, which can represent a bringing together of life's experiences, a bundling of everything into one whole. And so on 12 Kawok, this is using all of your life's experience to bring it all together in order to heal what needs healing. Now the other side of Kawok, of course, is that of the storm, and it's the storm that provides the rain which floods away that which is not needed, which washes away the debris which Tihash has cut away. So again, when we combine this with the number 12, we have a very strong number with a potentially very strong Nawal. So this can really be a day where you use your life experience to wash away that which you no longer need. You can use your life experience to bring healing where it's required, in order to step into the final day of the Trecena, in order to step into what might be the final day of the cycle of 13 Achpu. So here we see a very interesting day. We have Achpu representing the holiness, Achpu representing the sun, the divinity, representing kind of like what we're all shooting for, what we're all aiming for, representing the divinity around us. And we have it connected with the number 13, representing the spirit world and representing the ancestors. So this is really kind of like the holiness of the spirit world. This is what we have on this day 13 Achpu. It's a very, very strong day. Might actually even get kind of carried away, simply because this day has the potential to be so bright. Interestingly enough, there's a way that we can work with relationship energies within Mayan astrology. And one of the things that I do is calculate relationship charts for people. Now, 13 Achpu is a day on which we could say that we truly see ourselves. Because when we add a 13 to anything, or Achpu to anything, we generally have to take them away again. It's just the way that that mathematical system works. So, whilst you will have a day during the calendar which represents your Nawal, the day of your Nawal which represents your energy, when it comes to a day when we all see ourselves, 13 Achpu is exactly that. So this is a day when maybe the light shines so brightly that we can't hide from anything. We are truly seeing each other for really who we are, which can be, well, both interesting, and of course there's some people that won't want you to see exactly who they are. But this is where the true energy comes out. And at the end of the day, there really is only truth. That's where we're all aiming for. This is the, in one way, end of the cycle. And that cycle is going to take us into the next cycle of creation, the next one in Mosh, where we begin the 260 days all over again. So 13 Apo really represents that step where it's just us, our energy is seen for what it is, and we move into the next cycle. So thanks for listening again. I hope that's of use to you, and I'll see you in 13 days' time.